Good evening, everyone. My name is Taylor Tedder, and I'm your city manager. I'm so happy to see you all here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for Boulder City's annual State of the City Address, presented by Mayor Joe Hardy. Let's start the night with the invocation. Welcome to Cantor Phillip Goldstein from Congregation Shirat, Shalom. Cantor Goldstein.
Thank you. It is a true pleasure to be here. So will you bow your heads as we pray? Dear wise and loving God, Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for loving us from your boundless and gracious nature. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our callings. Thank you for sustenance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you as well for our great country and its freedoms. In the scriptures, you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular for all assembled here. I am asking that you would graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, and personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. Please give an assurance of what would please you, O God, and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city. It is in your most blessed name I pray, and together we say, Amen.
Thank you, Cantor Goldstein. Boulder City Police Detective Sgt. Tiffany Driscoll has been with the department for 16 years. She and her husband, Patrick, have 3 children. She's been an exemplary leader, helping recruit officers from throughout the valley and retaining top staff to keep Boulder City safe. She currently supervises detectives, training, and recruitment for the department. Tonight, Detective Sgt. Driscoll sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Sergeant Driscoll. I've been city manager for over a year and a half now. And when I first met Mayor Hardy, it was on the first week after I started with the city, and he was still State Senator Hardy and requested a meeting with me. And what I saw was a man who loves Boulder City, loves people, and has the heart of a true servant leader. And one additional thing, so I wasn't sure what to call him, Senator Hardy, Dr. Hardy, and he says to me, just call me Joe. And I think that also says a lot about him and his wonderful leadership. He previously served as a Boulder City Council member from 1999 to 2002, and as a Nevada State Assemblyman from 2003 to 2010, and State Senator from 2011 to 2022. Mayor Hardy attained the rank of Major in the U.S. Air Force. Mayor Hardy also worked as a physician in Boulder City, winning Nevada Family Physician of the Year twice. Last month, he retired from his role as Associate Dean of Clinical Education at Touro University, but plans to remain there in an adjunct capacity. Mayor Hardy and his wife Jill have 8 children and 21 grandchildren. He was sworn in as mayor of Boulder City in November 2022. And welcome, in his first State of the City address, Mayor Joe Hardy.
Thank you for being here and being patient and forgiving in advance. So we do have representatives here, and one of the things that I need to do is introduce my fellow council members. What we'll do is we'll have them take 30 seconds. Tami will time them because I know them, and they'll each have the opportunity to say how much and why they love Boulder City in 30 seconds, starting off with the Mayor Pro Tem and working counterclockwise or clockwise, depending on what you want to do, the rest of you. Sherry, right there, real loud. There should be a microphone at the table. This doesn't count towards your 30 seconds.
Okay, is it on? I thought he was going to say that I had to say something really nice about him for 30 seconds.
That counts for 30
does
seconds.
Does that count? Okay, that counts. First off, I just want to say it's so nice to look out here and see so many people that have been a part of my life in this community as we've had the opportunity as a family to be here and to raise our children and to be part of this community. True reason why I'm here is simply because of that, because I wanted to come and serve. Now that I've been here for about a year and a half, I've had the opportunity to meet even more people and to bring other people into my circle of knowing. And I feel so blessed and so lucky to be able to work with you as the community and with the people in the city. I honestly have met a lot of very hard workers on your behalf, and I'm so grateful for that. And Mayor Hardy is one of them, and I'm excited for the year to come. I'm thankful for the year that's gone past, and I look forward to a future filled with, reaching our goals. The goal of 30 seconds. I'll start with that one, and I'm going to reach it, and I'm going to be done. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry. I tried to pawn it off on Cookie. I will be less than 30 seconds. I take very seriously the honor to represent you, the citizens of Boulder City, and our community. And it truly is an honor to do so. And I look forward to a lot of great things in the years to come. The state of the city, since we're here for that, is reflected really in the state of her citizens and the thriving of all of us. And so I look forward to having a government that gets out of the way and just does just the right amount to help everybody thrive in everything that we're trying to do. So it's an honor. Thank you.
All right. Let's just hope I don't choke, because this is big groups, it's a little scary. But I do just want to say I am honored to serve the community that we all call home. And working with the the new mayor and the new council members. I really look forward to it. We're going to be a great team, and I think the city is in great hands. And I want to say thank you to the staff. Without them, the city wouldn't be where it is today. And, they really work hard to making everybody happy. And, thank you everybody here. And I look forward to serving you guys the best that I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I feel very honored to, I don't want to put my back to you guys. I feel very honored to be a part of this community. I've been here a little over almost 40 years, and I just feel blessed every day. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. And I think that I'm working with this amazing team, the mayor, the city council, and the staff at Boulder City. They're very enthusiastic and just amazing to work with, and they've taught me so much already. So I really, truly appreciate them and all the help that they give us. And is my 30 seconds up? But anyways, I just feel blessed to be here in Boulder City, and I hope to do a great job and serve you and fulfill all of my campaign wishes and promises to you.
So I understand we have other people who are, and maybe not rich and famous, but at least famous. So do we have Bruce Woodbury here? So Bruce, if you kind of fell out of favor and you're in the diaspora out there, but grateful to have you here. Thank you for being here. And Rose, I'm glad you brought him. Thank you. Now, do you have a son here who used to be a mayor? Oh, good. So, Rodney, I'll come back to you later, okay? So we have representing the governor of the state of Nevada, Sonny V. Where are you, Sonny? Sonny, thank you. It's a pleasure seeing Sonny. I've known him for a long time, and so I actually don't know how to spell or pronounce his last name, so you just say Sonny V. We have a former assemblyman here who is... I forget his name, something Glenn. Glenn Levitt, would you stand forward? Yeah. So Glenn and I had a good time serving together. He would come over and visit my office and tell me what I should have done. And the Clark County Controller, where are you, Lynn Goya? Right there. Thank you. And then we have Amy Carvalho. Way over there. Thank you for coming, Amy. We appreciate it. And then we have I'll call her our sister city, the mayor of Henderson, Michelle Romero. Thank you, Michelle. And our city councilman from Henderson, Kerry Cox. I can almost see you, but thank you for being here, all of you. I'd like to thank the person who offered the prayer. Phillip Goldstein was chosen to say the prayer on purpose. As you're aware, or most of you may be aware, that we had some things that made me sad, and that there were some things casting aspersions on a given people that I love. And so I'm grateful for you, my brother, being here, Phillip.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we probably ought to have Tiffany Driscoll stand up for another applause. Thank you, Tiffany. I guess I could call you Sergeant. You have on your tables different decorations, and those were our staff, Teena Pickens and Stacey Brownfield and Bridgette Rodriguez from the clerk's office. And I don't know how they had time to do it, because I was always in their office bothering them, and sometimes they just kept working while I was talking. Holly Webb and Carly Poindexter are going to make sure that we have had all the invitations, and this will be recorded. And when Jill, my wife, found out that this was going to go live, she said, "Oh my goodness," and she said to me, "You don't even have to go, you could just watch it." And I thought that was a good idea, but the county or the city clerk didn't allow me to get away with that. So yes, it is live, and yes, it will be recorded, and you can watch it later. One of the things that has impressed me over the years is the concept of service, and the theme of Together We Serve probably won't focus on buildings or other things that are substantial and permanent and physical that you can touch in nature, but more focusing on the things that are important in life, and those are people. And one of the things that, I've found myself involved with service of one kind or another probably pretty much all my life, and I'm not going to go through what I've done as much as what I've appreciated other people for doing. It could be awkward if I tried to take credit for everything that everybody else has done. So Roger Tobler, you can stand up and be recognized, Roger. Former Mayor Tobler. Roger Tobler and I had a deal. He won. He got to run for city council mayor in Boulder City, and I went off to Carson City every 2 years into the cold, and he won. And so I'm grateful to you, Roger, for being able to do what you did as the mayor and guiding this city. So thank you for what you've done. And likewise, we have previous council members, Claudia Bridges, James Adams, and Mayor McManus. If you want to stand and be recognized and appreciated. Thank you. Yeah. So I was going to say to Claudia to stand up, and she already was. So thank you. At any rate, it wasn't me that did all the things that you traditionally hear on a state of a city. It wasn't me that did it. It was people who paved the way, people who went before. And one of the good things about Boulder City is we always disagree in a very agreeable way. And it's a great community because we have so much talent, so much ability. And so thank you, former Mr. Mayor McManus, for what you did. Councilman Adams is still viable in the community, and we love you. And it's not just your wife that we love, okay? And Judith Hoskins, thank you for being here. You have been a great investment and a great act to follow. I appreciate the service that you've rendered. I have a special award. So some of you may be aware of the road that we call San Felipe. And if you've been on it recently to see what has been talked about in the newspaper and whatever, you were kind of surprised, how graphic it was. And so it's only fair. In this city, we have many people who make us aware of things. They write articles, they do editorials, they collect signatures, and Lee McDonald collected signatures about, why he didn't like it. But really, it's Rodney Woodbury who has the power of the pen. And so it's only fitting that Rodney should have a special award just for him called the Community Awareness Award. Now, for the record, former Mayor Woodbury, this was taken down just because of you. And yes, those of you who feel strongly that he should be duly recognized, I want you to clap if you feel that this is an award significant enough that it should be put up somewhere in his home.
Yes, thank you.
So I know your dear wife is here, but you'll probably have to write a letter to the effect that it deserves to be in your home in a significant place.
Yes.
Okay, so I entrust you with this because it may become one of those that is passed on, perpetual for years and years. You may win it every year.
I feel safer standing behind it already.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rod. So what I did is I found that the unanimous opinion was that this should not go too long. So that's pretty good. I think we got consensus. And, I have to share some things, though, because, I'm here and you came. So one of the things that I find, and this is where I may get into trouble, I'm married. What I did is I asked when I came on board, I said, is there just a little thing that I can use to see who people are in the city? And so I got, 3 pages or so of pictures and the names of city employees. And it was great because then I could put the picture with the person and be able to tell. So what they really wanted me to know so this is filled. And so I read every single thing in it. And speaking of judges, that was, very brief. Thank you, Vic. Appreciate it. And then little things. Another binder. So what I found is if you put this binder and the other big binder together on a shelf, you can put everything else in between and none of it falls. It's a great bookcase, the two of them together. And so while I was looking at this, one of the things I did is I had put on your tables this, and some of you may not have gotten one. This is the Narcan. And I was talking with the folks in the courthouse today, and believe it or not, there are people in Boulder City who do drugs. Who knew? And so what Narcan does, and you can look at it, and it's designed to put your 2 fingers like that and your thumb like that, stick it up somebody's nose and push it, and it reverses the OD that they have. And if it's fentanyl, we also have little fentanyl strips that used to be illegal until the legislature made them okay to use. And so I'm a doctor, and I don't like people to die. So that's what I'm, and if you look at this little thing, some of you have an expiration date of 2020. And so what was recommended to me by the court people is that we have everybody undo it, squirt it into their nose, and we'll find out who used to be doing drugs. On 3. Okay, we're not going to do that. I can tell that. That didn't go well. But I do have, if somebody wants it, I do have things. And this is the problem. How many of you are parents or used to be a child? So if you used to be a child, you had problems. And if you're a parent, you had problems with the person who used to be a child. That's how it works. That's how it's designed. It's really a very good thing. And so if you're really a parent or a child, you're going to have problems or know somebody who does or have a friend who does. And you can't give Narcan to yourself. You have to use it with you have to do it to someone else. The beauty of Narcan is when you use it and it works, then you go into immediate withdrawal, and it's kind of a sight to be seen. So they don't like you when your life gets saved by somebody, you don't like them after they use Narcan on you. But that's their problem. So, why the basket? This is a laundry basket. Okay. Have I gone too far yet? Okay, thank you. So this is a magic basket. It's wonderful. All you do is put your dirty laundry in there, and the next day it's filled with clean laundry. It's amazing. Day after day, month after month. In fact, I tested it. I got a different basket. And that one worked too. Okay, well, enough of that. You still love me, sweetie? Okay. Okay, the slides. What I wanted to do is watch the slides with you. So, Brock, you're doing your things now. So Together We Serve is something that is unique and yet common to everyone here. You've all had the opportunity to serve. You've all had the opportunity to help. I went to the senior center today for lunch. And it was a neat experience. I sat next to somebody who was a volunteer. Did I use the word volunteer? Yeah, they have volunteers, and it's a great thing. So I had a little carton of milk that they put on my tray for me, and I don't do milk very well. So I said to the volunteer next to me, where do you put the milk that isn't drunk and it's on your tray? And he said, well, that little lady right there might enjoy it. And so I said, okay. So the little lady over there, I said, would you like my milk? And she says, oh, yeah, that'd be wonderful. I thought, wow, that was easy. So I did something that was easy, and I served somebody, and it made her day. And so these people at the senior center, they're volunteers. So this guy next to me says, oh, and by the way, this little lady who looks at least as old as I am and maybe 10 years more. He said, oh, by the way, she serves meals for the Meals on Wheels. She drives them. And I thought, whoa. People will do well when they serve. And we do well when we serve. And so I'll just go down and, we have St. Jude's Ranch, we have the Boulder City Hospital Foundation, we have all of these places that we can serve. We have Lend a Hand, as I mentioned, and the Veteran Services, Commerce. Jill, is there things that people could do in Chamber of Commerce? Yes. Okay, so another place to serve. The senior living arrangement, go ahead, Brock. And the library, walking into that library is fun. They have actually more than just books. Who knew? And the schools, we have people who help with the schools, the police department, etc. And go to church, and if you go to church and don't step back quickly, they'll get you to do something, right? That's how it works. Keep going, Brock. Brock has got the magic fingers. And you heard about let's give him another hand. He deserves another hand. Yeah. Those are great. Go ahead, Brock. And our city manager, he has figured out how to spend money. We got all these ARPA funds and we're using them, and it's making a difference around the city. Go ahead, Brock. You can read as well as I do, so I'm not going to read things for you. The air traffic controller, we're making progress, which is code 4. We're making the application again because the application timed out. And for those of you who are waiting for the tower, it'll be a few years. Go ahead. I'm not going to even use the word hangar in a question, in a sentence right now, because I'd only get in trouble. So we have all of these people that serve us who are employees of the city. How many of you are employees of the city or married to one? Now, those are the finest people because they tell me what to do and then I do it, with some exceptions. One of the additional duties of the mayor pro tem is to correct the mayor. So when the mayor can't count, she tries to signal me under the table with her hand, and I don't know what she's doing, and she finally says, "It's 4-1. I say, okay. We all work together. When I say we're a team, it's more than just the council. It's everybody who is on the same team. How many of you like Boulder City? We're grateful for you because whether you're an employee of Boulder City or care about the city or get a special award for being community awareness person, we all care about Boulder City. And we have differences of opinions, but that's okay. That's what life is about. And we appreciate it. Our clerk's office, they kind of took advantage of me. They found out that I like bolo ties, so they got me one that has the emblem of Boulder City on it, and that's what I'm wearing tonight. And I appreciate that they take good care of me. Give them a hand. And the court system, Vic, you want to say anything? Good, your 30 seconds is up. Okay, that's good. We have the drug court, and what impressed me about the drug court, Your Honor, is we did this graduation for how many people last time? One person. Every single person that we help is a blessing to all of us. And we do the whole drug court for one person. Yeah. Police department, you know, what can we say? They're wonderful. And the fire department, usually Will smiles more than that. Where are you, Will? Okay, that's the smile. Okay, stand up, do a little turn, and show everybody can smile. All right, thank you. And this guy, we're going to call him Jamie because he doesn't know how to say hi me. Always smiles. Where are you, Jamie? See that? He's smiling. Yeah, yeah. And one of the things we wanted to do with this is to make sure we put a face on the department so you could see who they are and be able to recognize them when you're in the city hall or doing what you're doing. So thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it. And Joe Stubitz. Stand up, Joe. Yeah, yeah. So how long have I known you? Yeah. So we've known each other a long time, and what a joy it is to see somebody who's now who's arrived. He's in charge of things, and he's in charge of the electricity. And so the good thing about him being over the utility is, we can blame him for everything. Right? Isn't that what we do? Yeah. It's great. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. All right. And then Lisa LaPlante is the one who figured out how to wire me up so my phone is in the back belt instead of over my shoulder. And she says, no, she doesn't say this. My wife says this. You're not wearing that, are you? So I have, it's more than a village that actually helps this process along. And Lisa's done such a good job with it. And Roger Hall has been working for Boulder City for 45 years. Yeah. His one regret, his single one regret in his life in Boulder City is he never beat my team in basketball. You don't get 30 seconds. Okay. Michael Mays. Michael, stand up. We had somebody just without any prompting at all thank us because Michael did such a good job. And, that's a good compliment just without even saying anything. Well, how do you feel about anything? They said, he does such a good job and this is what he did and da-da-da-da-da. I mean, it's wonderful. Thank you, Michael. And Angela where are you, Angela? She's calculating the money somewhere. And she's so good with us, and we appreciate her stepping in and keeping us honest in every way in all of our reports, et cetera, et cetera. And so I just asked her, do we have the money? And she says yes, and I said, okay, then we can do it. And so what's next? We have all of these things about water, and is anybody from the utility committee here tonight? The utility advisory committee, I made the mistake of going to that, and I had to leave when it was a 10th over after about 2 hours. And it was fascinating because all of these people who have a lot of experience were talking about the different options we have for the water and the wastewater. And I got in trouble once when I was on a panel discussion, and I had some spaghetti and I threw it against the wall to see if it would stick, and it did. And so the guy that owned the building was kind of upset and watched that the whole time until I took it down. So what they're doing is they're trying to figure out what to tell the city council to do with the water. And it was fascinating because we had all of these different ideas and options. And I can tell you that I'm grateful for them, because they're going to tell us the one thing that works and nobody will have any problem with it, and we'll take all the glory. So I'm really appreciative of what they're doing. They do a wonderful job. Next. So my challenge for you is, what can you do to make Boulder City better? You know, and I've found that if I say to somebody, I like your shoes, you do that to women, not to men. I've discovered that. The same kind of thing, you know, your nails are pretty. You do that to women and not to men. I know I'm not supposed to say something like that, but that's what I do, and I find out that people like to be noticed. People like to see that they've been important or they've been noticed. And sometimes it's a smile. And I wave to cars now because I actually know who's driving them. And so what is it that we can do? And I remember back in the day, there are people who get depressed. And as a physician, I know that people get depressed, and you know, you help them, but sometimes they get seriously depressed. And I remember one time we had somebody went to visit, and afterwards we found out that they were considering suicide. We don't know what's going on in people's heads, and when we think of Together We Serve, we have to say, okay, so what are we doing to allow us to serve other people? And it's simple things that we can do to allow people to feel better. Is that the last slide, Brock? Thank you very much.